on Thursday as the buildup continues. Patriots-Texans divisional round matchup, 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon, Gillette Stadium. And as you just heard from Mike Vrabel, best defense the Patriots have faced all year, which he probably said or alluded to last week. And if they advance and go to Denver, he'll probably be saying or alluding to next week. So Drake May and the Patriots offense on a nice little murderer's row here of challenges, Nick Fitzy Stevens.
Andy, you could absolutely make the case now, even without thinking about who the Patriots are playing in the postseason to try to get to Super Bowl 60, let alone in what order, that these are the three best defenses in the NFL this season, period. I would probably say Texans, Broncos, Chargers. You're just having to face them in a slightly different medal stand order. But if the Patriots make Super Bowl 60, or when, then no one is going to be able to say middle of the mall, fool's gold, or soft schedule anymore, because they will have gone through the three best defenses in the NFL. So this right here, my friend, is test numero dos.
So you can really take your fool's gold and stick it, assuming they keep rolling, because if they get to the Super Bowl, you also could have the Seattle Seahawks on the horizon.
Oh, crap. That's the other second best defense.
Yes. This is like the Red Sox rotation. There's like 5 second best defenses in the NFL, and the Patriots might have to play them all. And I do think it's interesting, Fitzy, that everything we heard about these teams, the Patriots and their soft schedule, who they've faced, even though when you did the deeper Bill Barnwell, his mom's basement dive, you saw, well, they actually faced some pretty good defenses, even if the teams weren't all that great.
Fool's gold.
Even if all the teams fired their coach at some point just before or after facing the Patriots, and they're all looking for coaches. Quick side note, is getting fired and less than a week later signing a 5-year, $100 million contract the best example of, quote, landing on your feet that we've ever seen by anybody?
Pretty sure there's cat in the Harbaugh family DNA, because that dude just banked.
Oh, my God. And not only was he fired, there was some animosity in the tone of Steve Biscotti when he was like, field goal been good. He would have lasted for another week. But I've been talking about this for a month now. When did I call you? I don't even know who he looked to. He's like, I called you like 3 weeks ago and told you I was going to can this jackwagon. And now this jackwagon just signed a $100 million contract. Pretty good deal if you can get it. But back to the Patriots. And I've touched on this a little bit, but I want to do a deeper dive on 2 things to kick things off here on WEEI Afternoons. Reminder, it is Thursday, so 3:30 we'll talk to Tom Curran. We'll get his thoughts. We'll see if he is going to join the list of all our guests who seem to be picking the Patriots to win this game and advance to the AFC Championship. 4:45, we'll talk to Andrew Razor Raycroft about the Bruins, and we'll probably, you know what, Fitzy, because, we did it yesterday with Lou. Maybe we'll sneak in a, hey, Razor, who you like on Sunday at Gillette kind of question at the end there for that interview as well.
If he's listening right now, he's only got 2.5 hours to get his answer ready. And he loves when we mix hockey and football.
So, about 6 weeks ago, I feel like, is when it really reached its peak, when we realized, the Patriots are actually going to be in the playoffs, and we can start thinking about matchups and hosting and going to places and seeding. And it seemingly was almost unanimous. I know I was not on that side. When I was asked what's the thing you want to avoid most, it's Denver. It's going to Denver to take on the Broncos. I would do anything to avoid that. I think that is
a freaking house of horrors.
Yes, that is a mile-high problem, and then some. But most people seem to circle these Texans and say, "Yeah, no, I don't want to see the Texans. I don't care where it is. I don't want to see that defense. I don't want to see Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. I don't want to see anything." And now that you're seeing the Texans and you're favored at home, after the Texans just basically the defense did it themselves against Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. They were like, F it, it's 7-6. Why don't we just start scoring on defense? That's the best way to win this game. They did all that.
If you're just gonna dink around, CJ, that's like fumble the ball 5 times and lose 1 or 2. We'll take care of it for you. We'll show you what is the more elite side of the ball here in Houston. They might be. Are they like the best unit left of all the units on the 8 teams?
Yes, I would say that. I think they are the best unit left. And interesting you tease that. 5:30, we're going to be doing a units draft. And you can think for the next 3 hours, what exactly is he talking about drafting units? Well, you'll find out at 5:30. You'll have to stick around. But Fitzy, why was everybody so afraid? Yeah, I'm using radio afraid. No one's going to die, but radio afraid.
Scared
of the Houston Texans 6 weeks ago? Why were they the nightmare scenario? Why were they the worst case scenario? And now I don't hear as much angst, even though I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because it seems like some inside the locker room want to correct this narrative. I believe the offensive line is coming off its worst game of the season, especially that left side that saw Will Campbell and Jared Wilson really struggle. Why do I not hear sky is falling scenarios anymore? In fact, sounds to me like most people are picking the Patriots to win on Sunday. What has changed in the last month and a half or so?
Two things. One, the offensive line got healthier because back at the time everybody said, OMG, I don't want to face the Texans. You had no Will Campbell. In fact, you had Vidarian Lowe, and you even had Ben Brown subbing in for Jared Wilson, though some of us think Ben Brown might make, in this particular instance, a steadier option at left guard. And we all know that Morgan Moses at any moment could turn into a pumpkin or explode or just completely fall apart like the Steve Harvey Lego that Gronk spiked on New Year's a couple of years ago. And two, the Patriots defense, not the Patriots offense. We all have a long-standing faith that Josh McDaniels and Drake May and Ramondre and Steph Diggs will find a way to score just enough points to win. But we feel really good about the Patriots defense going against the mess of a Texans offense that is likely, not definitively, likely to not feature Nico Collins on Sunday.
So you answered your first part yourself a little bit there. You said the O-line got healthy, and then you said you preferred the backup. So there's a little bit of a mixed messaging in there, and I know you're not, not everybody maybe feels that way. You do have Jared Wilson. I'll get to the poll later because I put out a poll where I asked what you're most worried about, and let's just say, two of the options were offensive linemen on the Patriots, and they may be on the left side, and they may be rookies. But you just said it. You're so worried about one of those healthy offensive linemen that you kind of want his veteran backup back in the lineup. So I think that is interesting. Also, in terms of Drake May, and this quarterback matchup is, I think, maybe at the root of this, because you mentioned the injury. Nico Collins not on the practice field today. Schefter said he'd be stunned if he plays, so take away their best offensive player. Anyway, you have a matchup of two young franchise quarterbacks, both of whom threw an interception, both of whom put the ball on the ground multiple times. Drake May only lost one. I think C.J. Stroud lost two of the five that were on the ground.
I believe so.
Some were bad snaps. Some were other issues. But you have those two quarterbacks. So I want to visit that matchup for a question we've been asking us throughout the postseason, late in the season. Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Drake May, now C.J. Stroud. Which of the two quarterbacks in this game is more likely to make a game-losing mistake?
C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud has not been as good as his rookie year over the past two seasons. And yes, I do realize, and I think we unearthed this stat towards the end of our show yesterday, but it bears repeating now. And again, his best game this year came with Nico Collins out of the starting lineup. 320 yards, 2 touchdowns. But C.J. Stroud has just been super inconsistent. Some will point to Drake May and say, he's a rookie, the moment's going to be too big, he's going to get flustered by the jailbreak that is the Houston Texans pass rush, he's going to sail one into Pollock or Stingley or Petre's arms, we're going to be in trouble. I still think that if the Patriots are able to generate the pass rush that they did last week, if they're able to hit freight train style like they did last Sunday against an even worse offensive line than the Chargers, believe it or not, then yeah, I think C.J. Stroud, not by a country mile, but C.J. Stroud's more likely to make the mistake.
Yeah, and I think not just the numbers, but we touched on this yesterday. Visually speaking, if you look at the way even Drake May running 10 times, getting hit, fumbling, scrambling, running the option, all those things, he did so seemingly in a comfortable state of mind, I would say. Like just observing it from afar, like the way he looked. He didn't appear frenetic or frazzled, whatever. C.J. Stroud looked, whatever those negative words you want to use are, frazzled, frenetic. Certainly that interception was horrific, was young player, super young player, inexperienced player.
You've been doing this for 3 years, guy? Really?
Yeah, and you've been in the playoffs for 3 years? Like you've been there, done that.
That's right, 3 straight seasons, and they've made it to the divisional round 3 straight years. But that was, if they weren't going up against a team that barely made it in there themselves, and kind of, as we saw, with the coach getting resigning, like barely qualified against a better team, the Texans did not put forth a representative victorious effort last Monday night.
So given these matchups and given the seeming evolution of the way people fear and or respect the Texans, we talked a lot last week. If you lost, was it a failure? Did it change the whole season? Could you not say great season? Okay, you didn't. You won. You advanced. You're in the divisional round. What happens if they lose this week? Is it just house money? Is it like, well, that was a fun ride while it lasted. Gee, I wonder what we're going to do in free agency in the draft to get better next year and go deeper into the postseason. How much disappointment is there going to be, given how good that defense is and how much everybody feared it? How much disappointment will there be Sunday afternoon if they lose?
It's going to be a ton. People now expect AFC Championship.
I thought it was Super Bowl or bust.
It depends on who
Where's
they.
The little guy who usually says that. I don't see him in his.
Depends on who they match up against. I mean, do you think? Let me ask. I hate to deploy the Socratic method here, but do you believe that how people feel Sunday, should the Patriots lose, will be affected by how the first AFC divisional game goes on Saturday?
Probably, because if you can host the AFC Championship game, people are going to be lathered up and excited and starting to get going. But I actually think what affects it most, and we said this last week, right? Like how it plays out matters. If you get beat by the Texans because you realize, oh my God, we really can't block those guys, and they have 6-8 sacks, a strip sack, and it's just like, wow, we weren't quite ready for what they brought, the best defense we're going to face. But if the other thing we're talking about happens and C.J. Stroud turns it over 3 times and you actually do a decent job, kind of like the Steelers did, of moving the ball, but you don't score points, you don't finish drives, and you lose that way, and we're like, wow, Texans really weren't even that much better. They didn't dominate you. You just never made any plays to win that game. Then I think the disappointment will be magnified, especially in your scenario if Josh Allen is waiting to come to Gillette Stadium for the third matchup of this season and that whole opportunity there. Then I think people will be really but if they play well, if they play relatively well and just, Houston's better, I think most people by Monday morning will be like, well, that was a fun run. I'm really looking forward to the 2026 season too.
Yeah, but after the way, you could say that because, Houston's been there 3 straight seasons and the Patriots have missed the playoffs for 3 straight seasons. So, okay, I get it. If they just flat out get outplayed, it's, what a run so far. They made it to the divisional round. This season is a massive success. We are so on to 2026, and it's going to be great, even though the schedule is going to be a little bit harder, but so are many teams. But if the Patriots beat themselves, that's going to leave an awkwardly sour taste in the mouths of a lot of Pats fans. So try to, at least, if you got to play the cleanest game you can. Like, could you ask for much more than just not giving the game to the Texans? Like, if you get beat, you get beat, and that's how it goes. But if the Pats give them the game, that's going to be a very bitter pill to swallow.
Yeah, and I say a clean game is probably not a truly clean game. This defense is so good, I think you almost have to pencil in a turnover and just say it's what they do. They have 19 interceptions. They have 10 fumble recoveries, 29 takeaways during the course of the regular season. So they average more than 1 a game.
Almost 2. Jeez.
Right. So, like, I think with your offensive line issues, and you have a young quarterback, and we don't need to get into this now, but you do have a running back who notoriously in his career has put the ball on the ground a lot, going against a swarming defense that's athletic and physical and puts a lot of hats on the ball. I think you almost have to pencil in that they will have a turnover, but you can't have a bunch of turnovers. And where that turnover comes might also matter. What situation. Probably not a great idea to give the other team the ball inside the 10-yard line 2 weeks in a row and feel like, this is a good formula to win in the postseason. I wouldn't.
We'll just find a way to escape this again. Hey, Marcus Jones, go make a game's touchdown-saving tackle on C.J. Stroud like you did Herbert last week. Hey, Harold Landry, strip sack. Like, that's, you can't. Milton Williams can't save the day each and every time that you're pinned up against it. Look, as long as that turnover, Andy, doesn't come in either red zone, we'll have to live with that one. Because you're right. It could be a pick, could be an opportunistic pick, could be a strip sack, could be, I don't want to put that, I'm not going to put that evil out there, but we've gone a while without watching any of the RBs cough it up. So
they are being
Don't
good
say
with the football.
do.
Nope, I'm not going to say it. You said it. I'm not saying do or Duval or anything of the such. I'll leave that up to Lynn Jones and others. But yes, the swarming defense of the Texans. And we have one more thing to throw on the pile. I know Ted Johnson's big on other factors. The travel. Texans went to Pittsburgh, went to Houston, back to New England. Well, we also could have snow. Now, it depends on which weather reports you look at, which meteorologist you trust, but there's
a lot of them are trending that way, Andy. This is sort of like a late-breaking development. There could, like, Mother Nature could be a factor Sunday. Who do you think that favors?
I don't know. I really have no idea. I don't have a lot to go by. You do have a dome team, theoretically, coming to a team from the Northeast, but Drake May doesn't have a ton of experience playing in the snow and whatever that situation. I think that might actually be a wash, honestly. I think it might be a wash. The two quarterbacks, I don't feel great about one or the other. In fact, we actually asked Drake May what he liked or maybe the idea of playing in the snow on Monday, and this is what he said. Ball in the snow, that classic Snow Bowl game played 25 years ago in New England, may or may not.
I think that's sweet. As I said, it's not too bad, when you're throwing in the snow. Rain's probably worse, so I think it'd be cool to be out there in the snow, and I think the offense is at the advantage, so, I never mind that.
So I thought it was interesting there. The key words, they say. They say. Mm-hmm. Not like, I love playing in the snow. I've done it like so many times. It's so cool. The offense, he's going by, quote, they say. And
Charlotte doesn't get a lot of snow.
I don't know about you, Fitzy, but I've gotten in trouble in life occasionally when people tell me certain things. You just, they say that it's okay to do this. And
Andy,
the cop's like, it's not.
What do they say about assuming?
Yeah, it makes an ass out of all of us, basically, and we do a good enough job of that on our own here on WEEI Afternoon. So, Patriots fans, I ask you, you hated the matchup with the Texans about 6 weeks ago. Why do you not hate it quite as much now? Why are you feeling semi-confident if you're feeling confident? Where does that confidence come from? Is it, I don't know, C.J. Stroud and the potential for him to turn the ball over via fumble or interception? Is it a bounce-back game from the offensive line? Is it Josh McDaniels, a faith in your coordinator to come up with a scheme that will deal with that pass rush? Is it the potential for snow against a dome team that's traveling yet again? All those factors are in play Sunday. Why are you feeling good about your Patriots? 617-779-7937. Up next, we will dig into Drake May. Had some interesting things to say yesterday in his midweek press conference. We'll hear those next here on WEEI Afternoons. But first, Dan Ball, give me what's trending.